Happiness through curiosity on the Ranveer Show. I want to go back to what you said about building good buildings. How do you define a good building? I'm assuming it's part safety, part design, part livability, and what else?
Okay, before I answer that question, let me ask you a question.
Sure, sir.
I made 6,000 apartments in Powai. What do you think is the best thing that Niranjan Hiranandani has done in Hiranandani Gardens in Powai? Just a question. Just one. Not even one or two or three, whatever you'd like to remember, because you said you praised me or the project. So can I know one thing that you know?
Sure, sir.
And I'll tell you one thing which I consider as most credible.
Can I give you two?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll give you one from the childhood perspective that I have of going to Powai for the first time in my life. I remember looking at all those buildings with that kind of design and thinking, wow, India's changing because of the design because of the design you could see in the buildings. So for me, maybe because I was always artsy, I loved like the way you designed it first and foremost. And the second I'd say is the general quality of life that you always saw people have in Hiranandani Gardens in Powai. Great school, gardens, things to do, restaurants, etc. Which now seems a little more common than it used to be in the late 90s and early 2000s. But this is again very civilian perspective. Never built a building in my life, so I don't know. But maybe you'll answer it differently.
I won't answer it differently, but I'll answer something which people are not aware of.
Sure.
5,000 apartments, not a single apartment leaks in 35 years. What happens is that there are things which you don't see. So buildings I made 35 years ago structurally, today are so sound that none of them require structural repairs in 35 years. Not one. Some of the buildings are now being painted after 20, 25 years for the first time. Quality of the buildings. So it's not just about what you see from the outside, which is the design and all the other things and the amenities which are obvious, but also solidity inside. And of course, commitment to a customer, the integrity and honesty in terms of dealing with it. So when you see something, which is, I'm very happy that you see it, and so many people, compliment us for this, for the work that we have done. But there are so many other things that we have done in Powai, which people may not be able to see also as far as those things are concerned. For example, we have this largest sewage recycling plant in Mumbai. We recycle 4 million liters of water every day since last 25 years, much before all this issue of sustainability was talked about. We have already done that in Powai, and we have also done it in Thane. So what actually happens is when you want to do something well, whether it's a podcast or it's acting in a movie or it's building a building or it's this, the idea is you keep on improving the quality of the buildings, including the aesthetics, including other things in it. So you're always moving up the value chain. And many times builders come and tell me, and happily so, we studied your last building which you did, and now we are building a copy of your building wherever, Jaipur, this, that, foreign. And everybody's so happy that we have copied your building. But I've already moved ahead because my next building has something better and newer that we have already done. So the idea is it's a escalator. You just have to keep walking, going up in terms of what you do better in the future than what you have done in the past. And it's simple because what you do is keep on improving whatever you have done and level you've reached, you just move up one step more.
Do you perceive yourself as an artist a little bit?
Artist, I think, no, I think I am more a service provider. I'm more about worrying about what you will like rather than just what I would like. And it's not about just the art of the building over there. For instance, the design of my building conceptually is very beautiful. But more than that, it's a sustainable type. you will not be able to recognize the age of my buildings by looking at it. Somebody came to Powai and he said, I like your new building, and pointed out to a building, and I smiled because it was only 25 years old. So when we work on art, it's not just art for art's sake. It's not just beautiful. It's there is a lot of so much other thing that goes into those kind. Like for instance, you go to Chhatrapati Shivaji Station as well as the Corporation Building or the Gateway of India. It's sustainable. Even after 100 years, it's attractive. That's what Powai is all about. Or Thane is about, and now Panvel is about. So all these projects are made in such a way that they have something beyond just beautiful things. So that's the facade. That's the outside part of it. But the inside, the whole thing is much more solid than what you just see from the outside.
You bought the land in Powai before you made the buildings. And Powai came up as an area because you made those buildings. How did you sell your first few properties?
My God, Ranveer, you that's such a sore point. It was so difficult because people said, Powai is a place where you go for recreation and weekend homes in those days and stuff, and then make bungalow and stuff and all. Who's going to reside over there? And it was so difficult to reach there. Accessibility was not there and stuff like that. We took the challenge and we made 40 row houses and we made 500 apartments in the first sector in Powai, Hiranandani Gardens in Powai. And I proved right. I sold my 500 apartments before I could sell my 42 row houses. So many times you have to be ahead of the curve. You have to think ahead, and that's there in every business that you do. You are ahead in your podcasting thing because you think ahead of other people in terms of how you should do this podcasting and how you actually disseminate this knowledge, gyan through social media. Similarly, we also have to actually work towards and understand what is it that really we bring to the table in each of the projects that we do. And so it is art, but it's also a science. And it's also technology. It's a lot of things put together. It's not just one thing. Over a period of years, you realize that this is a complete different gyan, just like any other line.
At least this topic about selling your first few Powai properties seems like it was a bit of a gamble. You could have gotten barbad, as they call it.
True.
Fair to say?
Yeah, I was actually secretive about the size of the plot that I bought from my own family. We bought 250 acres. And I think I told my family that we had bought 25 acres or 50 acres and, we would pay it by installments, which we did. But I didn't tell the truth that I'd really gone for a leap in the dark. So, yes, that is true.
Could you have actually gone broke because of that gamble?
Of course.
If things didn't work out the way you...
Of course. Any large leaps in the world of business, which is new, could go wrong. And we went through only 5 recessions. So it's not that things didn't go wrong. It went wrong 5 times. And so we have gone through 5 recessions during this period of things and lots of problems in between. So ups and downs in business is a part of business. And unless you don't have the downs, in 35 years, if somebody tells me in business he never had a downside, he's a liar. So it's only about sustainability of being able to override the problems that you had. And sometimes you can't because there's an earthquake and you collapse into the crevice. But you have to keep walking up and, sustain yourself. So sustainability in long run for projects of the size and scale that we do is a task by itself.
If you enjoyed this clip from the Ranveer Show, we've uploaded a ton of other clips related to a ton of other topics. So explore the channel because there's something for everyone.